Does this mean you think Republicans should be banned? Yes, I've said that many years now. Yes, the Republican Party as an apparatus has stood behind, validated, and built the framework for an insurrectionary attempt. Yeah, 100%. The entire party, at least on a federal level. But many of the states, the Texas state Republican Party flatly says that Joe Biden lost the 2020 election. Yes, they're complicit in a crime. They're an institution that exists in the furtherance of a crime. They are pro-crime. They don't just support it. They're not just like a random person supporting it. They're part of an institutional framework that built itself around. Do you have any idea how many people and how much money was involved in trying to steal the 2020 election? Yes, they should be broken up, and their leaders should be arrested. I've been very clear about this for years now, fully. They're accessories after the fact. They're accessories during the fact. They built up to this the entire way through. All of the efforts to steal the election, to lie about, to demand recounts, to like pressure electors into changing their votes, to like file 50 fraudulent court cases on like recounts and like lying in court, like over and over and over. Like this was done at an institutional level. It wasn't just Donald Trump. I agree with you with stuff like this would require radical structural policy acts that might take a while to synthesize. Yeah, unfortunately, you got to act quickly. It's kind of like the El Salvador bit, you know? What would you rather do, folks? Like, would you rather like wait and twiddle your thumbs, like trying to devise the perfect legal strategy for this while the Nazis take power and eventually win? Or would you rather act quickly, harshly, and sloppily and then clean up the mess afterwards? Considering the harm that Nazis pose to the world, you know, I lean very much towards the former. It's almost the next election, guys. It's been almost 4 fucking years. Like, Jesus Christ. The latter, you mean? Quick and dirty. Whatever, the quick and dirty attitude, you know? Yeah. You need reconstruction, again, is the thing. You need to, like, restructure. The main thing that America would need to do is, like, restructure its news and media organizations at the moment. Because, there's so much local news, local radio, everything is just, like, 5 billionaires pulling a bunch of strings, and they all want the Republicans to win. Can you imagine the shitstorm if a Democratic president came in and purged every Republican from the Senate, House, and state officials? Yeah, can you imagine what the Republicans are going to do if they get the chance again? Do you think Fox News should be banned? Yeah, 100%. You know, we had laws in America that were revoked by Reagan that would have made the current day Fox News, like, illegitimate as an organization. Like, we used to have standards in news broadcasting with regards to impartiality or the fairness doctrine. Yeah. People act like there's no choice but to accept this hellscape that we live in, and everyone frames it as freedom. Well, freedom is the freedom for corporations to rape you to death. Okay. That's the freedom. We had systems and they were broken apart by evil men acting evilly for the interest of the corporations that bought and paid for them. You know, none of this is like, well, what about the slippery slope of having any standards for corporate behavior whatsoever? Because you've been conditioned to believe that the consequences of literally any regulation, especially on the behavior of like media institutions, must necessarily be like Nazi shit, you know? You'll know when it's Nazi shit, and that'll be what the GOP tries to do and has been trying to do. We're Flevier, we're essentially living in an era of unrestricted yellow journalism. Mainstream news organizations just say anything, literally anything. Fox News, the most watched cable television network, just can just say anything. There's an incredibly thin line that you have to be careful about when it comes to like defamation, but it's very easy to be careful about that, you know, and just say whatever the fuck you want through framing or selective presentation. And a lot of people get their news online today, and online you can just lie. You can just like whatever. There's no consequences. Like anyone can just lie. You can get your news from anything, anywhere. It doesn't matter. No one goes after you. Just lie. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters, you know? It's like total civilizational clap shit. The more I think about this and the more I look into this, the more I unironically wonder, like, man, holy shit, not a defense of the state as a whole or whatever, but the fucking Great Wall of China, or the Great Firewall of China, you know? There are a lot of authoritarian measures that it seems like the alternative to those authoritarian measures, nobody has any suggestions or solutions other than just like, let corporations fuck you to death. You know, like I'm an enlightened centrist. I just want a middle ground. OK, on one hand, we have China, which at least for a few decades now has been a reasonably well-functioning state, though we'll see how long that continues in spite of significant internal problems, you know, and they do this through pretty dystopian technological control. And then on the other hand, like the entire West is 5 days away from falling to Nazis. This is happening everywhere right now, and all of it is being strengthened by this totally fucking laissez-faire attitude towards information distribution, which means that literally everyone is just as likely to get their news from radio hosts who can lie freely with no consequences, TV hosts who can lie freely with no consequences, and internet hosts who can lie freely with no consequences, with no regulation or oversight, you know? People call it 1984 when YouTube starts having like little banners underneath videos about COVID explaining what COVID is. Even like the concept of fact checking is considered authoritarian to the modern day right wing, you know? And by the way, don't think that this is like an impartial or two-sided thing. When it comes to lying, when it comes to dishonesty, when it comes to like civilization ruining instability, that's the right. That's not like an everyone's doing it kind of thing. There is a measurable, exponential difference in the amount of dishonesty. The right is the one that controls these systems. The right has the billionaire backing, and the right is the one that has to lie. Do liberals lie? Sure they do, but nowhere near as much, not even close. And when liberals lie, they do it in that kind of like framing pro-corporate interests on union busting way. Like they do not lie the way fascists lie, not even close. So yeah, Comrade Robin Hood, I'm not advocating anything even remotely close to McCarthyism or like COINTELPRO shit. McCarthyism was like hyper paranoia promoted by, you know, far-right lunatics against communists. I'm talking about like the very straightforward, factual, unconspiratorial, truthful belief that there be fascists everywhere, man. And they lie. They love lying. We cover their lies all the time. Are you sick of it? Are you tired of it? How many streams do I have to do where the subject of the stream is functionally, hey, did you know far-right people lie and are monsters and want to destroy the world? You know, let's do 18 segments this stream. You know, here's 18 facets of a gemstone that shines with the resplendent knowledge of, did you know fascists lie and want to destroy the world and are evil? You know, how many times, right? And the idea, and I say, hey, maybe Nazi political party should be broken up. And people in chat, they cry, they scream, no, that's authoritarian. Good things are authoritarian. The only way you can have good things is through completely equitable, laissez-faire, wallet-based engagement in a marketplace dictated and controlled by capital holders, i.e. far-right billionaires. That's the only fair way to do it. There's no bias in the battlefield that I've chosen to engage on. You know, there's no, that's how it's supposed to be. No, don't ban the Nazi party. They want that. They'll benefit somehow from all their leaders being arrested and their media organizations being broken down because they violate fairness laws. They want that to happen. No, you know. They do say that shit. They do. Unironically, they do. Speed limit on the highway is authority. Unironically. No, Hank, you have to debate the cartel. Hank! If only someone had just fact-checked the Nazis in Germany. Ismailia, if you think everything that I just said was, we need to just fact-check people, come on. Like, it's not even remotely. Come on. So be serious. What exactly would you arrest them for? Okay. As a consequence of the January 6th investigation, we have factual, objective, unambiguous evidence of multiple people in the Republican Party knowing that Donald Trump was lying about having secretly won the election, but ended up backing him publicly anyway. That is the ideology of an insurrectionary attempt being, in knowing dishonesty, being backed and furthered by some of the most powerful people in the country. They should all be in shackles. It's not as ambiguous as you think it is. This is not like a thought crime. Like, we literally have documented proof of hundreds of powerful people lying in the effort of facilitating an insurrectionary attempt. I don't know how it can get more like unambiguous than that, you know? Like, this is very obvious criminal conspiracy. Sedition is a crime. I know the courts haven't convicted Trump on it yet, and that's because they're pussies. I'm built different. I would have convicted him on it, you know? Like, it's not that ambiguous. It is in fact possible to use the rule of law to prevent bad things from happening. That is possible. I think you have too many liberals in your chat. I can't believe we should arrest fascists. Controversial take. Yeah. It's because a lot of people, like, I guess a lot of people don't seem to like understand the gravity of what we're dealing with. Like, I guess maybe like wait a decade, wait for the Nazis to win, and then plunge the country into ruin. And if they live through that, then ask, hey, do you think maybe arresting the people who would then go on to kill millions would have been like a good idea beforehand? You know, go ask the Jews in the Weimar Republic, hey, so I just came from the future and a lot of people are about to die. Now, you could stop it, but you would have to arrest and or kill a couple of very obviously evil people right now, you know? Oh, no. Like, and I'm talking about arrests, too. I'm not even talking about extra legal behavior. I'm just talking about, like, there is a law in America called sedition. I'm not even making some, like, big reach here. Who defines Nazi? So this is what I mean. So this is what I mean by, like, limp-wristed, limp-dick, cuckold behavior, okay? Like, the Fork, you cuckold, okay? A valid question in other contexts. Discussed to death in this one in particular. How can you enforce the law when your legal term has like a definition? All legal terminology has definitions. Even murder does. There's no unambiguous, cosmically defined legal term. All of them are socially defined. Like, what? Who defines Nazi? What if the person making the definition says Nazi includes people who eat ice cream? Wouldn't your law look stupid then? Fuck off. Like, it's like you're engaging with this at like the lowest possible IQ level. You know what I mean? Like, you might as well be asking me, like, what if the police go to their door to arrest them and like they say no? Like, you're gonna say the police are gonna break open the door? Like, you're not. It's unserious. It's unserious. Oh, and by the way, keep in mind that at no point during this entire fucking god-awful ramble have I started talking about arresting people for their beliefs or thoughts, okay? I'm only talking about people who have broken existing laws or been party to the breaking of existing laws and are members of the party that has done this. People in the GOP, not random Republican voters. Even if you could derive some utilitarian benefit from mass arresting fucking half the population, which you can't, by the way, it would be pretty goddamn stupid. Not what I'm after, okay? I'm talking about the key group of powerful people who are working to further the interests of these far-right Nazi groups, you know, in that party apparatus. That's true, Fork, and we shouldn't arrest anyone for sedition ever, because they might define sedition as anyone who's ever said death to America on Twitter, so then they'd arrest all the leftists too. Essentially, yes, Ashkeys. No one respects the tolerance paradox. I think most people in chat understand what I've had to say, and I think most of them agree. I'm going to move on now, because we have only an hour left of stream.